Once upon a time, in a distant village, there lived a grandfather and a grandmother. The grandfather was a kind and hard-working man, and the grandmother was caring and always cheerful. They lived in a small house on the edge of the village, surrounded by a garden and vegetable patch. Despite their hardships, they were always content with their life because they had each other and their cozy home. The grandfather worked in the fields from morning to evening, and the grandmother took care of the house and animals. They had a few chickens, ducks, a goat, and in the garden there were apples, pears, berries, and vegetables. They did their work with love, and although their life was simple, it brought them joy. But one day, everything changed. One day, the grandfather went to the forest to collect firewood. As he walked along his usual path, he noticed something strange sitting under an old oak tree. It was a small hen, but not an ordinary one. Its feathers shone like gold, and its eyes glowed with a warm light. Despite his cautious age, the grandfather approached and spoke to the bird. "Who are you, beautiful? Why are you sitting here alone?" The hen didn't answer with words, but looked at him as if inviting him closer. The grandfather leaned down and noticed that beneath the hen lay something extraordinary, a golden egg. It was soft, like an ordinary egg, but it glowed with a warm light, as if it were made from the very rays of the sun. The grandfather couldn't believe his eyes, but he decided to take the egg with him and show it to the grandmother. He carefully picked up the egg and returned home with this miracle. The grandmother was astonished and said, "This is real gold. Where did you find it?" "On the forest meadow where I found this hen," replied the grandfather. "She was sitting on this egg." The grandmother paused and, despite her joy, felt a certain unease, but she quickly reassured herself. "It's just a miracle. We need to use it wisely, and then we'll have everything we need." They decided to keep the hen with them. Every day, they took care of her, fed her, and she gradually got used to her new home. Several days passed, and one day, the hen laid another golden egg. The grandfather and grandmother were overjoyed. Soon, they realized that the hen laid one golden egg every day. Everything was going wonderfully, and the grandfather and grandmother's lives improved considerably. They sold the golden eggs in the village, and soon they had enough money to stop worrying about their needs. But the more gold they had, the more their desire grew. The grandmother, increasingly obsessed with wealth, began to look at the hen with concern. She thought, "What if she can lay not just one egg, but several? What if I kill her and take all the eggs at once? Then we'll be truly rich, and I won't have to worry anymore." These thoughts gradually overtook the grandmother, and one day she made a decisive decision. "Grandfather, we need to get all the golden eggs while the hen is still here. I know how to do it. We'll kill her, and then all the eggs will be in our hands," the grandmother said, her eyes gleaming. The grandfather, however, was against it. He couldn't understand why the grandmother was so worried. He thought she was overthinking it. "Grandma, don't rush," said the grandfather. "We can enjoy what we have. We don't need to be greedy." But the grandmother wouldn't listen. Her eyes were filled with so much determination that the grandfather, though he didn't understand, agreed. He took a knife and went to the hen house. As soon as he approached the hen, she looked at him with a calm gaze, and it seemed that there was a hint of sadness in her eyes, but the grandfather paid no attention to it. With one swift motion, the grandfather killed the hen, and as soon as it happened, all the magic disappeared. There were no golden eggs in the hen house. The hen was just an ordinary bird that, like all other hens, laid ordinary eggs. The grandfather and grandmother stood in complete confusion, not understanding what had happened. The grandmother began to cry, realizing that they had lost not only the hen, but also all the wealth it had brought. She rushed to the grandfather, embraced him, and said, "Forgive me. I shouldn't have demanded this. We lost something very important, because the hen wasn't just a source of gold. She was a symbol of the fact that happiness is not in wealth, but in what we have." The grandfather, though upset, embraced the grandmother and said, "Yes, we made a mistake, but it's not too late to learn to appreciate what we have. We don't need